What's going on, viewers and subscribers? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. So, in today's video, this video is just a freelance video. I'm not going to talk about any construction or engineering architecture topic per se. I'm just going to speak to you about in terms of which of the profession do I prefer? Do I prefer architecture or do I prefer engineering? Right? So, if I should answer your question, I would choose engineering every single time. And there's a reason for that. So, my construction experience dates back to as far as 1993. That's where my construction career begins, right? Before I speak to you about my construction engineering experience, I just want to take you back a little bit. So, my ambition was to play cricket. I'm a big cricket fan. I used to captain my school sunlight team. I captain my coach team, right? And I used to attend STATS, St. Andrew Technical High School. So I used to do very well at cricket. I played all island cricket. I used to play senior cup cricket. I used to play for Lions United when I was a youth growing up. So I was a ardent cricket fan, and I'm still is, right? So my ambition was to play cricket. So my career in construction starts at the Ministry of Local Government and Works back in 1993. And how I got that job because of cricket. The ministry was playing the Civil Service League at the time. And at the time, the captain of that team, the ministry team, couldn't put a proper team together. So he recruited me to come in to play on the team as an opening batsman. So I played the first season and I was working there as an accounting clerk, right? Right at 140 Maxfield Avenue there, right next door to the Alpha Tree police station. So I worked there for about 2 years as an accounting clerk. And a matter of fact, when the project that was they were paying me on expired, I was doing so well in that office after the cricket season has finished that they said, listen, this young guy has to stay there. So I stayed on and I worked as an accounting clerk for 2 years. So while I was working there for 2 years, I got promoted and they put me to work on a road project in Clarendon. The project was from Jacob Hut right to Ali. So it's from Jacob Hut through to Yorktown, down to Gravel Ground Alley, right back to Kempshill. So I work on that construction project as a junior works overseer, and that was in 1995. So that was where my construction started. And if you have listened to me keenly, I've said repeatedly that my construction experience is mostly road construction, road rehabilitation, civil engineering works. That's my strong area because that was the era that I started out in. So when I was working there, I worked there for 3 years, and in 1998 we got laid off, and I, you know, couldn't find a job. I was looking all over a job, and I couldn't find a job, right? But at the time, I graduated from St. Andrew Technical with only one subject. I only have one subject leaving high school because I was so focused on cricket, I didn't pay much attention to my schoolwork, right? So when I got laid off in 1998, no, and I was looking for a job, and all of the jobs they were asking for, qualifications, and I didn't have any. So I went back and at the time I moved from Kingston. I was living in Manchester because I got transferred from that project in Clarendon to St. Elizabeth, but I was stationed at the National Works Agency office in Mandeville. So that's why I moved from Kingston down to Mandeville. So while I was working down there, I enrolled in the Manchester Evening Institutes, and that was where I started, go back to school and do my subject. I think I did maths, accounts, English, physics, and technical drawing. So I did that and those subjects, and I was successful at them, right? And then I decided that, you know what I mean, I was going back to school. So I started out studying architecture. So architecture was my favorite at the time. So before I started to study architecture, and I think that was the year 1998, I joined the Jamaica Fire Brigade, right? And I worked as a firefighter for 10 years. I graduated from the firefighting training school and I was stationed in St. Elizabeth, right? And while I was stationed in St. Elizabeth, I used to live in Manchester. So I used to travel from Manchester down to Santa Cruz. I was stationed at the Santa Cruz fire station. And, I was traveling back and forth and I got, I applied for transfer. They transferred me from Santa Cruz fire station to the Mandeville fire station. So when I was working as a firefighter, I told myself that, listen, as soon as I am eligible for study leave, I'm going to go back to study. So I work for, at the time, you think you have to work for 3 years, but I worked for 2 years and 9 months, right? So as soon as I reached 2 years and 9 months, I applied to the Caribbean School of Architecture at the University of Technology at UTech, right? So I started out there studying architecture, and I tell you, I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I wasn't an artistic person. I used to do well at structures, do well in mathematics, do well in the construction subject, construction and materials. I used to do well in the construction subject and the mathematics subject and the engineering subject. But when it comes to the artistic part, that was not me. So I finished the associate degree in architecture and leave because I didn't like architecture, right? So when I leave UTech after I finished that associate degree, now I start to work, go back to work as a firefighter. That was back in 2003. So I started to work as a firefighter, sat back my job as a firefighter, and I was doing little drawings here and there, building plans here and there. But somehow I couldn't put the engineering aspect of the drawings together. I didn't understand nothing about engineering. So when I realized that now I'm weak in the engineering aspect of the drawings now, I went back to UTech and I enrolled in the diploma program in the structural engineering program. I did that program for 3 years and graduated with a diploma in structural engineering, right? I That was back in 2008. So in 2008, when I finished that diploma, I resigned from the Jamaica Fire Brigade and I went back to work for the National Works Agency. So I worked there as a clerk of works from 2008 up until 2012. So the sea defense work, that revetment work that you see on the Roselle Main Road in St. Thomas there, I was a project manager for that project, right? And after that project was concluded, I worked under the Jamaica Development Infrastructure Program, JDIP. That road program, I was a project manager for a couple of roads in Manchester and in Clarendon. So I enrolled and tried to do my degree, that construction management degree. Up and I finished 2 semesters. And after I finished that 2 semesters, no, I discontinued the program because I was getting through to migrate to the United States. So upon finish that program now, um, I migrated to the United States, and then I this very same year, because I was adamant that I was going back to school. So when I came to the United States that very same year, I enrolled at Temple University, and I did a degree in civil and construction engineering, right? And I finished that program in 3.5 years. I got some exemptions because I started the degree, that construction engineering and management degree and UTech. I have a diploma in structural engineering and I have a 2 year degree, a 2 year associate degree in architecture. But I do additional courses just to build up my, you know, build up my competence. And at one point I was in the accelerated master's program. So after finishing that degree, now I started to work with the Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. I work for some consultants here and there doing nighttime paving. But that didn't work out too well. So I got a job with the Department of Transportation, and that was from 2016, and I'm still working there now as a civil engineer in the bridge department. So that's how I get into the engineering. So if you should ask me which of the profession I like most, I would like construction and the engineering. The architecture, yes, I can do it. I also work as a project manager for a construction company in Manila for a short time. I think I worked 6 months. I was a project manager for a building that they were doing at Alpart. I don't remember the construction company now, but it has been a long journey on this road. You know what I mean? A long, long journey. A journey from 1993 up until now. So that is approximately 31, 32 years, right? So now I'm working as an engineer. I like doing engineering. I still like architecture, and sometimes I feel like I want to go back to finish up on my architecture because probably at the time I wasn't in the proper frame of mind to do that course because I was a strong physics person, mathematic person, a more technical person. But as it stands now, I would like to go back into construction, doing project management. That's what I really want to do now because I've done some amount of designs already. Single span bridge, single span box culvert, right? You see me, if you watch the channel, you see me upload, you see where I uploaded a box cover that I designed since I think April of this year. So we actually work on that design for 2 years. And I was the main designer on that box cover, right? So right now I want to transition more into project management, construction project management. That's what I want to do. So if I should go back to Jamaica, that is what I want to do. I want to work on road projects, bridge projects, and do less architectural design. You know what I mean? So I have leaved out a lot of information. This is just a brief overview of what I've my career from over from 93 until now. I've left out a lot. I didn't mention a lot, but that's just to show you where I'm coming from, where engineering and architecture is concerned. But if you should ask me, right, I would prefer engineering every time over architecture. To me, when you're an engineer, you understand more that goes into the building. As I said to people on numerous occasions, that a building is not an artwork. Yes, the architect does his thing, but the real thing is that the engineer have to put have to bring life to that building. If that building and or that structure cannot stand up to the elements, then that structure is going to fail. And when you understand how to design your slabs, your beam, your footing, it gives you an appreciation to say yes, you can make this structure stand. It's not going to be perfect. And it's a field too. Engineers a field that you will never learn everything. It's a field that you keep learning over and over again. And it's a thing that is, if you're not practicing it, you're going to lose it because there's a lot of calculation. You have to remember the formulas. You have to know how to convert from one unit to the next. You have to know how to interpret the results. You have to know how to tweak the results. The mathematic process is kind of tedious and it's kind of long. Even nowadays, you have computer software where you can design those structural elements. But for me, I can't afford those expensive software, so I have to do hand calculation. And when you do hand calculation, it keeps you going. It keeps your memory going. You don't have to depend on the computer to do a lot of things. And the fact that you're doing it from a hands-on perspective, it gives you a lot. You learn more and you can increase your knowledge and increase your competence. All right. So I've come to the end of this video. I was hoping to do an engineering video this evening, but I just decided that I was going to leave it until sometime early next year, because I have some engineering series coming up: how to design reinforced concrete slab, how to design a one-way slab, two-way slab, and your strip footing and your spread footing. So this video I just feel like to just give you a brief synopsis of my career path, right? So as usual, you know the thing already. Watch the video until the end, like, share, and subscribe. And until I see you again, enjoy the festive seasons and a happy new year. All right? Thank you.